Hey everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. You're in my corner and I have a very special guest in the corner. Would you like to unveil your identity to the masses?
Hello, my name is Cristina Ulloa, and I am a voice actor.
And it's very nice to have you on the show because I know a lot of the fans out there are playing a certain game that you're in. It's apparently blown up in seems like the past 2 months. It's just gotten really huge.
That is what I've heard. I am the voice of Annie, Amumu, and Nu the Yeti writer for League of Legends for Riot Games.
Those are the most interesting names for games ever.
That's what I thought.
You must you must feel so silly sometimes introducing yourself with some of those names.
No, now I love it. Like I think it's great, and you kind of get it. Like after now that I've gotten to know the characters a little bit more, since I found out that that this game was so that so many people were playing it and that people really like the characters. I think they do fit. At the time when they came, I was like a moo moo. Okay. But and actually they originally had it like I had it originally written down as a different name. Um, which so then I was updated very courteously by all of the fans once I did have an idea of what was going on. So thank you for everyone who sent me good corrections on that.
That sounds like a name that I would name like a teddy bear when I was like 4 or 5.
Well, I guess that fits. I mean, they're cute. They're cute little characters. So I mean, like the big, massive characters on there, like Tryndamere and Mordekaiser. I mean, I guess they fit their names. I mean, they're big, powerful guys, and mine are cute little cute little spunky things. So maybe that's why. I'm not sure.
Well, no, I hear this game is actually pretty difficult to get the hang of if you're new to it. Have you actually tried to play the game yourself?
I have not.
You're like, nope, 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 not gonna try.
I am really excited to. I would really like to, and I've gotten so many wonderful invites from people around the world, being like, "Tell me your name, and we'll play, or I'll teach you." And everyone's been so kind. But no, I have not as of yet gotten on there and played. Um, we've actually talked about it, some of the other voice actors who've done this, because I don't think any of us have played actually. Of maybe doing a thing where we all get on together for the first time. So I don't know if we'll do that or not, but no, I have not played as of yet.
Well, it makes sense though because you have so much to do in your daily life. So to sit down and like play all the things that you've been in is kind of one of those like, well, I can do this later. It's not going anywhere.
I love video games. I'm a huge fan of. I'm a total dork. No, I'm not saying that people that play video games are dorks, but I'm just saying like I'm not out there doing all kinds of like super cool stuff all the time. Like I like to. I love games. I love all that kind of stuff. Computer games, video games, board games. I'm a silly girl. I like to have fun. Whether it be video games in arcades. I miss that. People should do that more often too. I love that too.
They should. I'm kind of lucky because I'm in Vegas and all the casinos still have arcades. But
Oh, rock on! You guys are in Vegas?
yeah, the business is in Vegas and I'm in Vegas. But my producer, who you talked to, he's in New Hampshire.
Oh, well, super cool.
Now, you actually mentioned board games. One thing I did want to ask you because I was looking over your resume, and this is a game I've actually played. I feel bad because I haven't played League of Legends. Everybody keeps trying to suck me into it, and I'm like, no, no, I won't do it yet. I got
Oh,
I got StarCraft and other things.
you haven't played either. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength.
Okay,
But
well, we can
some,
play together.
yeah, that'd be fun. But
Okay.
some other games that you've been in are things like Monopoly, and I'm assuming you've played Monopoly.
Yes, I have played Monopoly. I love Monopoly. Who doesn't love Monopoly?
I love
Yeah,
Monopoly.
I know, right? Okay, I know it goes on for like 5 hours, but good times. Yes, I did Monopoly and Littlest Pet Shop for Electronic Arts for EA. And that was a blast. That was really, really fun. I hope the game has come out because I'm not really supposed to talk about it if it hasn't come out. I'm not sure if it has. Do you know?
Well, I know there were two EA Monopoly games that came out. One was Monopoly Streets, and I can't remember what the other one was, but Monopoly Streets came out, I think, earlier in the year.
Oh, good.
And we all played that on staff, like we played online together. So
Oh, cool. What was it like? Was there
It was a lot of fun. Like everybody hated me because I'm apparently like my luck is plus 50 and everybody just doesn't have that sort of luck. So, when I'm owning everybody, nobody wants to play with me anymore.
Oh man. Well, that's awesome. No, I should go play then. See, that's the thing. Like when you're a voice actor, you go and you do this stuff and it happens like about a year and a half, sometimes 2 years, sometimes 6 months, depending on what the project is. You go and you record it before the game comes out or whatever the product is. So you really have no idea. It's not like you're on like a memo list where they're like, hey, by the way, it's out, you know? So you really are, it's kind of up to you to find your stuff later. So it's very mysterious. So people are cool. People will come and be like, is this you? And I'm like, oh yeah, that is me. Rock on. But no, I should get on there and play. But yeah, Monopoly was super, super fun to do the voiceover for because it was lots of sound effects. Lots of sound effects, which is a specialty of mine, and it's really big in video games. So,
Yeah, none
uh,
of them really talk. They kind of just make woohoo, ha ha ha, like random sounds like that.
oh my god, okay, good. It has come out. Yes, I remember that voiceover in particular because it was all sound effects. Same with Littlest Pet Shop. Um, it's basically you just you have to it just they give you a character like you're the boot or whatever and they're like, okay, now be the boot, really excited. I can't remember who I was. I have to remember which of the characters I was, but I was one that was really like it was like whoa, like it was
Well, I,
pretty
I,
good.
I know there was a lady who had the little puppy, and she walked the puppy.
I wonder if I was that one. I can't. Oh my! I'd have to go look up the character list, but they were also because none of them had words. The whole thing was just like like the whole thing was just like whether or not you were excited or you were bummed or you were ecstatic or you were being, the dice were being rolled. And they're actually surprisingly really tiring sessions because you're just like totally like exerting yourself in a padded room.
See, I think the ones that would really get you are the ones where you're like screaming attacks the entire time and death sounds and whatnot. But
Oh, yes, that too. That too, of course. Being burned alive and yes, death is always a good one. Crazy screams. Animals are very taxing as well on occasion. Growling and barking and meowing and whatever else. But yeah, no, screaming is probably for sure the most taxing. But if you're doing like a lot, I think for Littlest Pet Shop for them, I did a cat and a tiger, and I did a bunny, which was funny because they were like, "What does a bunny sound like?" You know. So it was just like, just lots of little effects, and but if you have the all that stuff and the
well, if you have a pet, you get to practice at that. I've had a cat for like 11 years, and I just meow at her all the time, and we just go back and forth. So,
you do get to know. My cat is he's not a huge talker. He's kind of a strong silent type, but yeah, he and I talk on occasion.
well, yeah, my cat does like a half meow at me, like, "Rah." Like, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
Do they do the chirp? The
Oh yeah, when she sees like birds or something outside, she always does that. Sounds so silly, but we laugh at her for it. Now, one of the interesting things when I was researching you and looking up all your stuff in a non-stalkerish way on the internet,
Yes.
yes, is that you're not just in voiceover, you're also, in dance and other things like that. But I'm kind of curious, what came first?
What came first? Voiceover. Well. Um,
That's a trick question.
hmm. I've always been kind of hyperactive. Since I was a little kid, I'm just like jumping out of my seat, like super, super high energy person. And just really hard for me to sit still. So I've been kind of dancing, just kind of a wiggle worm forever. My mom just, she would say that I had ants in my pants all the time. So I've danced. I was always, really into, being, athletic, anything athletic. And my parents were musicians. So the dance complemented that from a young age. When they were on stage and whatever else they were performing at the time. But no, technically, in terms of work, voiceover absolutely came first. And I was 8 years old when that happened. So
Well, so you were definitely influenced by your parents because you kind of grew up with it around you.
absolutely. I was shaking a maraca on stage with them from about 2 years old. They're like, here, play this. I earliest memories were singing three-part harmony, in the car, and opera. They were really into opera for a while, and they, trumpets blaring in my living room at like 3 in the morning. So it was definitely an influence. They both are also professional singers, vocalists. My father just completed his master's about a year ago, and my mother is in the process of actually completing her PhD. They're extremely accomplished vocalists and musicians. I'm very proud of them. But they definitely had a huge influence on me. Uh, and there were times when I was not like very excited about it. Like I would just be singing around the house, and then my mother would be like, "Drop your jaw, feel the space, project," and, like, and I'd be like, "Ah, oh, mom, stop." But I definitely picked up a lot of vocal technique from them, and definitely some character work probably from them too.
Well, when you're 8, I can't see you at 8 years old, hitting the streets and getting an agent and all that jazz. So, how did you get your first vocal role?
First vocal role. My mother and I like to argue about this because she thinks there were two things that sort of happened simultaneously. So if she ever hears this interview, then she'll know that I'm acknowledging her version of her story as
We'll
well.
hide it from her.
Yeah.
You have her IP, we'll block it. No, I'm kidding.
No, my mom is awesome, but she's a performer as well, and so there were two things that happened simultaneously. First thing is she was doing voiceover. She was a singer and she wanted to get into voiceover as well, and so she was doing a number of auditions, I believe, for an agent, and I was a little kid and I would accompany her on the auditions, and one in particular. I was just waiting in the waiting room, and they came out and they said, "Wow, we really like your voice, but we were looking for a younger sound. Does your daughter want to try?" And my mom was like, "Do you want to try?" And I was like, "No, okay," because my voice is really high when I was little. I was like that. Um, and I went in and I did my audition and I booked the job, and that was for the Learning Company for a Reader Rabbit series when I was very young. So that was sort of the beginning, and that was for, as I mentioned in my other interview, for a wonderful man named Ned Lott, who went on to do all of the casting for Disney character voices, and he also does a lot of independent casting for all kinds of huge companies now, including Miyazaki, if you're familiar with them.
Mhm.
Um, the other way that I did end up doing voiceover was that my parents would do a lot of recording for their music, for their CDs, and my they would have me sing on their records because I was there, and why not? And and there were a number of recordings that we did for my mom's albums, and I guess that there were some producers and some engineers that were, engineering the session, and they picked me out and they said, "Does your daughter want to do some other voiceover work?" So I guess they just heard my voice and they liked it for some of their products, and that's kind of how it all happened. And then various companies would just call me, starting from age 8, and I did it all through school, and it was just kind of, I don't know, it was my voice was very high, as I mentioned, when I was little, so it was sort of unique that way. But also because I'm bilingual, I speak Spanish, so there were a lot of products that I could do the English and the Spanish, and I could sing. So I guess that was a valuable thing at that time, and a number of companies would just continue to call me for various little things, and that's how it began.
I have to say that you kind of put me into a nostalgic kick by mentioning Reader Rabbit because I used to, because at the time we didn't have a computer, but they had it at the library. So when I was a little kid from like, I don't know, 4 to 9, I would always go to the library and play that game.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, Rita Rabbit. Good times.
That is so weird. Like it's kind of one of those moments where it's like, I've talked to a lot of people and some of them have been like sprinkled throughout my childhood, but I always like finding that connection where it's like when I was 5.
I know, right? It's bringing it old school. I remember like Teddy Ruxpin and like Rainbow Bright. I was like, bring those back. Those were super cool. But yeah, no, Rita Rabbit was the first, and I specialize in toys and games, so I did a lot of toys all growing up. So number yeah, lots and lots of toys, many toys. And I had the honor of doing many of recordings for Mattel last year, which was very cool as well for their little mommy line. So if you see those little dolls, they talk. It's me too.
Well, my brother has kids, so I'm sure eventually they'll come over with a new doll. And then I'll be like, "Oh, I know that voice."
But
But
yeah, I the baby stuff.
aw, it's cute.
Ah.
Now, I mean, do you ever like? I mean, you've been doing it for so long, but do you ever feel silly just pulling out the baby voice randomly?
Uh-uh. No, it's kind of my favorite voice to do. It's I don't know. It's just a fun one. I like doing the kids' voices. I think that's actually because my inspiration when I was little. This is my true confession. Where's the chipmunks? I love the
I love them too.
the chipmunks. Well, I used to think that they could do that, like for real. They were my heroes when I was little. I thought that they were. I really thought that they could do that. So I would practice with them for hours. I made it like my life goal when I was little. I was like, man, if I could just do that, that would be amazing. So I would sing along with their albums for hours and hours.
Well, now, one thing I really have to ask is you have this arsenal of cute voices. Do you ever use them to get your way?
No, powers for good only. Only to get out of like telemarketing sometimes. um, uh, no, I mean, I do change my voice depending on what, I mean, it's like, because my voice is cute and little, sometimes I'm also not taken very seriously, depending if I'm going to go to an interview or something like that, and I want to be taken a little bit more, I'd like to have a more empowered voice, then I'd use something a little bit lower down here. And I probably do it subconsciously as well. But I do affect my voice depending on what the situation is. But I think everybody does. So, um, but every once in a while, a telemarketer will call and I'll just be like, "Hello," and I'm like, "Are your parents there?" "No, they're not here." "Okay, thanks. Bye."
You should have full-blown conversations in that voice with telemarketers. Record it, put it up on YouTube, then it'll be viral. I'm just saying.
Oh man, but yeah, but yeah, no, I do. No, not usually, not usually. But those are kind of the only situations that I generally do. I will
Well,
practice every once in a while. Like if I'm practicing an accent or something, you go out in the world and practice it to make sure you got it right. That's always fun. So
I'm just thinking of the thousands of recordings we could have of you doing this.
absolutely, I've been practicing the Scottish accent as of late with the Pixar movie. So I've been practicing going around, doing that one. See if anybody notices.
Well, did you have a chance to see it, Brave?
I did. It was great. Oh, I loved it. It was really beautiful. The art was just beautiful. Really, really, it was incredible. Really well done. The animation was amazing. But I see all the animated films.
Well, good. You're a kid at heart.
Oh, absolutely. You have to be to do this. you have to be a total goofball.
We wouldn't want you any other way.
Oh well, I'm glad that people like it.
Well, now, are there any projects that you're working on that you can talk about, or anything that recently came out that you want the fans to know about?
Oh goodness. Well, let's see. I've done a lot of, video games, a lot of toys. I've done some stuff for Wii as well. But specifically for League of Legends, I don't know, there's a lot of confidential material that, like, you're not really supposed to talk about. But I will say to the fans of League of Legends that, I have been honored to find out from various sources that there are apparently, hopefully, some really amazing new projects in the works, possibly thinking of the fans first and foremost, because they are so incredibly, the fans are amazing and people love the game. So I think that they're planning on doing some cool new stuff for everybody. So I know of some things that are in the works, but I'm not I'm not at a I'm not allowed to say anything as of yet, but people can expect some cool things, I believe, very hopefully very soon.
Well, we don't want the lawyer ninjas to get you, so we
No,
understand.
good girl. I signed NDAs.
We know how that is.
Yeah, but no, but there's definitely cool stuff coming, and I don't think the fans will be disappointed.
Is
I'm pretty sure the fans will not be disappointed. It's pretty cool.
Well, if you're excited about it, then we have to be excited about it. But is there any place like you update on the internet, like where we can see what you're talking about? You know, do you Twitter, do you Facebook, do you do any of that?
I'm not big on the Twitter or Facebook. There's so many. There's so many. I feel like we're all attached to our computers. There's so many to keep up, but I do. The one that I do keep up with the most is my YouTube. So anyone who follows me on YouTube, for sure, my channel. The League of Legends reel is up there of mine, as well as my animation reel, and I know that's how Lily and I did some of my other interviews as well. Um, my all of my really good friends who also did voiceover for League of Legends, we all have our own channels, and we all try to stay connected and keep in contact. Adam Harrington, Brian Sommer, who has recently did an interview as well, and I know they're looking at interviewing some other people. But definitely YouTube. That's where I post anything new that I'm doing, and I believe that there are some other projects in the works that will hopefully be posted somewhere there soon. And so we try to keep that up as much as possible with any updates. So if anyone wants to follow my channel, all they have to do is just type in my name on there, and anything new, then I will post there for sure.
Well, you also have a website as well.
I do, and it's just my name, www.CristinaUlloa.com, which is a lot harder to spell than than I know. It's not an easy name, but it's just a Cristina, but there's no H in it because it's in Spanish. Yeah, that's one of the more common spellings in Spanish. So it's Cristina, and then the last name is Ulloa, which is ULLOA.com. So, but yeah, I post all my videos there. All of my demos are up there. If anyone is interested in hearing some of my other voiceover work aside from the kids' voices, which is of course my specialty, but I do grown-up voices as well. I also sing and do Spanish. So all of my narration demos and whatnot are all there under demos.
And now, one of the things that's kind of unique to video game culture and anime culture as well is there's a lot of events to attend and go to. Do you have any events that you have coming up to meet the fans?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Funny you should say that. Possibly there is actually nothing was finalized. Nothing has been finalized as of yet, but they apparently there's some there. I think there's a number of events. One in Seattle coming up at PAX. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go to that, but there has been some discussion of some of the voice actors going. A number of us. I don't know if that has been finalized as of yet, but we would actually, now that we know that people are so into the game, and there's so many people that want to meet us. A number of us have been connecting about attempting to try and come and meet everybody, because we would absolutely love to. We would be honored to meet all the people who love the work. We're just so honored that people love it. So yes, there are plans too. And again, what I will plan to do is with my other friends on the voice acting who also did the voiceover for League of Legends, we'll make sure to post updates either to the websites or to the YouTube if we will in fact be coming, for sure, set in stone to any of the events upcoming.
Awesome. Well, just as a forewarning, in case you've never been to any of those sort of events, you might encounter some smelly people. It's okay.
Smelly.
It's normal. Some people don't bathe during conventions. It's the grossest thing ever, and I don't know why, but
Really?
yeah, like they're like, I'm gonna walk all day in the 102 weather, in and outside, and then I'm gonna go back to my hotel room and I'm not going to bathe.
Well, that's really good to know. Thank you for the warning. Well, I'm sure as I've heard that people dress up
Hmm.
in costumes and such. So I'm sure some of those costumes probably get heavy as well.
Yeah, some of them, depending on what it's made out of, some of them won't breathe. So if you don't like, I always do this because generally I go to a convention with the guys on staff, sadly. So I'll bring like Febreze with me, and I use it for the hotel. I use it for all my stuff. I use it for their stuff if it smells. Like I'm out of a bottle of Febreze, like a big bottle, by the end of a convention. If I want to be smelling decent, so.
Girl, you're so funny. Just give them a little spritz. Here, do you mind if I just spray you?
Well, if they don't change and they don't bathe, I'm gonna have a problem.
That's true dedication. It's true dedication.
Especially if I have to be stuck in a room with them.
Well, good luck with that. But
It's
yes,
okay.
I'm actually really excited to go. I'm trying to remember. I know there's a bunch coming up. I know there's one in Seattle. I know there's a few. Comic-Con was recent. But I actually think they're doing some abroad as well. But yes, there are definitely plans to attend very soon. So we'll make sure to post either to YouTube or the website when we are doing that.
Awesome. Well, look out for smelly people. You might want to bring Febreze and lastly a camera, and I think you'll be all set.
Sounds good.
My horrible advice for everybody out there who's being like, "Why are you telling her this? You're gonna scare her away." Well, I
Not
tried.
at all. I'm so excited to meet everybody. Honestly, the amount of notes that I've gotten from the League of Legends fans, like I was literally like crying with some of them. Some of them were like just so kind, just the most generous and beautiful notes I've ever. I was so honored because I really had no idea that people loved it so much. And I actually recently got one from someone who I really did cry when I heard it. What they had that they were young like me. They were 24 years old, and I don't want to give too much away, their confidentiality, but they had been suffering from some illnesses where League of Legends was one of the only things that they could do during their time. And to write me a letter and to say how much my work in the game meant to them during that time, literally, like it blew my mind, and I just cried. Like I really did. It just really touched me, and everyone who has sent me all of their kind words, please, thank you so much, thank you. And I hope there will be more work to do, and I'm glad it brings you happiness and joy.
And for other people, anger when they lose at the game. I'm sorry, I have to ruin touching moments. I apologize. But no, since we're nearing the end of this interview, I do have one question for you.
Uh-oh. Okay.
We have a tradition here on 91.8 The Fan, and I was wondering if you'd be willing to participate.
What are we doing?
Basically, we ask if you'd be willing to say a line for us.
Oh, sure.
And it's not, I'm a chicken or something silly like that, so don't worry.
What do you want?
Basically, we ask if you'd be willing to say, hello, my name is, I do this. You can say characters, you're an actor, whatever you want to put there.
Okay.
And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Okay. If I mess up, can we redo it?
Yes, but if you mess up, everybody hears your bloopers.
Oh, good. Okay, so what am I saying again?
Hello, my name is, you insert your name. I do this. You can say you're an actor, you can list characters you've done, whatever you want to put there, throwing some improv at you. And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
I feel like I should write this down so I get it right.
Everybody does.
The pressure!
They find a napkin from somewhere, they write it down. Some people, they just try.
I'm using my Roth IRA note.
Some people just try it 20 times and they usually screw up the numbers. We're used to it.
Okay. So I can just say, the main thing for this is League of Legends. So, if it's more helpful, if it's more interesting to your fans, I'm happy to just say, the voices I do for that.
That's perfectly fine.
And you're tuned into
91.8 The Fan.
And by the way, just between you and me, I'm so glad that this was not a video call.
As I said, my hair is all messy because it's still wet because I got out of the shower right before this.
Oh, girl, me too. Well, no, I didn't get out of the shower, but I decided to go down in hot tub really quick. So, okay, I'm ready. Do you want me to do it in a character voice?
It's completely up to you. We actually let you pick, so.
Can I do it in multiple voices?
Sure, plenty of people have. So if you're all set, you can tackle it.
Okay. Hello, my name is Cristina Ulloa, and I'm a voice actor. I do the voice of Annie and Moo and Nunu the Yeti Rider for League of Legends. And you are tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
I love that ending part.
I try. Did
That
that
was
work for you?
that was awesome. You got a little bit of sexiness in there and cuteness. I like it.
Oh, well, Annie's kind of a twisted character, so.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the listeners out there?
Uh, Thanks so much for listening and taking the time. I loved doing voiceover for League of Legends. Be sure to follow my channel on YouTube and visit my website, www.CristinaUlloa.com. It's been a pleasure, and I'm glad that everyone has enjoyed my voices. If anybody ever needs voiceover for their projects, I would be most honored to be considered. I do specialize in character voices. I sing and I speak Spanish, and I also teach voiceover professionally. So, thanks so much, and I hope you enjoyed tuning into 91.8 The Fan.
And thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. And for anybody out there that missed any of this interview, shame on you, but don't fret, it'll be up on the website within the next few days, so keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan, everything you want and nothing you don't.